Hello everyone. So in this session, I'm going to discuss how we can navigate programmatically in React routing. So last time we have discussed what is a React routing and how we can implement a React routing. So today I'm going to discuss how we can navigate programmatically also. Suppose guys, we have one component. In this component, we have one button place order. When we click on this button, so we want to navigate to another component like order summary component. So in order summary component, we want to navigate when we click on a place order button. When we click on a place order button, then we want to navigate, to order summary components. So let's try to understand how we can navigate by clicking on a button. So let's now we move to our project. So now here in our component folder, I am going to create one new component, that is a order summary component. So I am going to create one more component, order summary.js. So let's import React. So we create one order summary component. So we can define order summary component using arrow function. So order summary equal to arrow function. Now simply we are returning here order is confirmed. So return, here we return div element. Now here simply we saying order confirmed. So this is a order summary component. Okay, if you want to export this component, so you can write export keyword here also. While you defining the component, that time also you can mention export. So here we have defined order summary component. Let's now we move to the app.js component. So in app.js, we have defined all the routes. Now we need to define one more route where we need to define our routes. So let's now here we configure one more route and we configure our order summary component. So let's now we use the route element. In this route element, we are using one path. Okay, what is the path? I'm doing the path like order hyphen summary. And then which element needs to be rendered? Order summary element needs to be rendered whenever, yes, no, URL matches with this current path. So let's we configure one more routes, and this routes, whenever we have order summary path, then this route will render order summary component. Now we can check here, go to the browser, you can check here. Here you have home page, about us. If you click on contact, then contact page is open. But now you can check here, if you make URL in the page like order hyphen summary, for this URL, which component needs to be rendered? For this URL, you can check here, order summary component needs to be rendered. So here it's saying order summary is not exported. Okay, let's go to the order summary once again. Now you can save this project once again and refresh. Now you can check here. Order is confirmed. Now which component is rendered? Order is confirmed. So here now what we want to do, if you click on a home link in the home page, we want to create one button. And when we click on a button, then we want to render order summary component. It means order summary component needs to be rendered when we click on a button. So go to the home page. In the home page, so let's return here JSX from the home page. So here we are written JSX. Now we are wrapping multiple component on the fragment. So here we are using fragment. Okay. Now under home page, we are going to place one button. I'm going to place button, that is a place order. Place order. Now we have place order. What my requirement when we click on this button, then we want to navigate. So how we can navigate from one component to the other component programmatically? If you want to navigate from one component to the other component programmatically, for that, React will provide one more hook, that is a use navigate hook. Using use navigate hook, we can navigate programmatically from one component to other component. So here basically what my requirement, we want to navigate, we want to render a particular component while we are clicking on a button. So when we click on a button, then we need to render different components. So for that, you can use navigate hook. So use navigate hook basically used to navigate from one component to another component. We can navigate programmatically using the use navigate hook. So use navigate hook to navigate to the page. Yes, no, which page you want to navigate? Let's understand how we can use navigate. So now if you want to use navigate hook, then you need to import use navigate hook from React Router DOM library. So you need to import use navigate hook. We import use navigate hook from React Router DOM library. So use navigate is a hook. And now if you want to use this hook, you can use navigate. This hook actually basically return one function by which we can navigate to other component. So use navigate is a hook which returns as a function. By calling that function, we can navigate to other component. So navigate, suppose I will store a function in one variable navigate. So basically what does use navigate? It will return one function. Now you can call this function and now you can specify the path of that page where you want to render. So where you want to render, you can specify the path as an argument. You can pass the path as an argument of that component to which component you want to navigate. So use navigate is a function which basically use navigate is a hook which return a function that lets you navigate programmatically. So what is a use navigate? Use navigate hook return a function that lets you navigate programmatically. Let's try to use it. So when we want to navigate, when we click on a button, so we need to add one event handler on click. So when we click on a button, then we want to navigate. So here we can pass arrow function as an event handler. And now we can call the navigate function. You can check it because we need to call this navigate function when we click on a button. So when we click on the button, what is the page URL? So I want to navigate order hyphen summary. Order hyphen summary. So you can check here in app.js, we have configure one component, order summary component, while order summary path appears in the URL. So you can save it and you can check here, go to the browser and you can check here. So now move to the browser, you can check here. Here we have one button, place order. If you click on that button, now you can check here. So the page, you can check the URL of the page is changed. What is the page of URL become order summary. So in this way, you can navigate programmatically in a React. So how we can navigate programmatically? If you want to navigate programmatically, so you can navigate programmatically using the use navigate hook. Use navigate hook returns a function that lets you navigate programmatically. Now you can check here, if you click on a button here, so now you are navigating to which component? Order summary component. Okay, now once you navigate order summary component, now here we want to create one more button. Suppose When we click on that button, then we want to navigate back. So where we want to create in order summary component. So go to the order summary component. In the order summary components, we are written here GSX. In this GSX, now we combine the GSX in a fragment. So we can nest it GSX within a fragment. We create a fragment. Okay, now within a GSX, we create one more button. And now I give the button just like go back. So when we click on go back, then we want to navigate back. Go back. So when we want to navigate back, how we can navigate programmatically using navigate hook. So here we need to use which hook? Navigate hook. So it means in this component also we need to import first of all use navigate hook. Use navigate hook from React Router DOM library. Then now what we need to do? Now we need to navigate back. We need to navigate back. So now when we want to navigate, when we click on a button, when we click on a button, then we want to navigate back. Okay, so let's now here we are adding yes, no on click event. We are adding on click event on this button. So go to the button. Now we added on click event. When we click on a button, then we want to execute this event handler. We can define event handler using arrow function. So we want to navigate back. So you can use here navigate function. Navigate function. Okay. Navigate. Okay. We use the navigate first of all. So now navigate. Use navigate hook. Return one function. So now we call the use navigate hook. Now this function, this hook will return one function that lets you navigate programmatically. Now by calling this function, you can navigate programmatically. Now here we want to navigate back to its history. So in the history, if you want to we want to navigate back. So just you can pass the -1, yes, no, that moves to its navigate back to history. Okay, check here, go to the browser. You can check it, guys. There is a go back button. If you click on, now you are navigating back to its previous page. If you click on place order, then you are navigating to the order summary component. If you click go back button, then you are navigating its previous page. So that is a use navigate hook. So what is the use of use navigate hook? Use navigate hooks allow to navigate programmatically. If you want to navigate programmatically, you can use navigate hook. You can import first of all use navigate hook from React Router DOM library, and then you can call that use navigate that returns one function that lets you navigate programmatically, and then you can navigate programmatically. So suppose here we want to navigate programmatically when we click on a button. So we have home.js page. In the home.js page, we have added one button. So when we click on this button, we want to navigate programmatically. So we can call the navigate function and we can pass the path of that component that needs to be rendered when the current URL matches to the path. So this is a use navigate hook. So now I hope it's clear what is a use navigate hook. Let's just recap one more concept. So use navigate hook actually create one navigate function. Using that navigate function, we can navigate to different page. And this navigate function you can check here. First argument take what accept. First argument accept page URL, yes, no? Into which component or which page you want to navigate. And use navigate accept one more argument, second argument. So navigate function can also accept as an optional object as a second parameter. So which can be used to control the navigation behavior. So now you can check here, navigate function accept as an optional parameter. Second parameter is optional parameter. In this optional parameter, it will accept one object It will accept one object, and this object will take one property like a replace, and you can set replace value as a true. You can set replace value as a true. Replace true. So navigate function also accept an option object as a second parameter. Using this parameter, we can control the navigation behavior. We can control the navigation behavior. Suppose you can use the replace option to replace the current URL in the history stack instead of adding new entry. So you can check here we are using one replace property. So replace option actually used to replace the current URL in the history stack instead of adding a new entry. So let's check here. Go to the browser, and now you can check here. If you refresh your page, now you can check if you click on place order, then you're navigating to the order summary component. Now if you click on go back button, then you can check here where you are navigating. So now you can check if you click on go back, then you are navigating to which component? You are navigating to which component? Order by home page, sorry. Okay, let's save this component once again. And now go to the page, refresh, replace order, go back. Now you can check here. If you refresh again, this is the home page. If you click on place order, if you click on go back, now you can check here, you are not able to navigate back. Here, why? You can check here. Here you're using which option? Replace. So replace option basically what does? Replace option, yes, no, used to control the navigation behavior. You can use the replace option to replace the current URL in the history stack instead of adding a new entry. So instead of adding new entry, it will replace the current URL in the history stack instead of adding a new entry. So you can use second argument if you record, but this second argument is optional argument. If you have not required, you can ignore it. Okay, so this is a use navigate hook. So simple term we can say use navigate hooks allow to navigate programmatically. Use navigate hook return one function by which function we can navigate to different pages. Okay, now I hope you got it the use navigate. Let's now we understand one more scenario. Okay, suppose guys here you can check here if you click on a home page, you are able to see you can check on home page. If you click on about page, you can able to see about page. So in the URL, suppose if you change the URL slash contact, it will render which component? Contact component. It's me now if you change the URL like user, for this path there is no route is configured that can render appropriate component. Suppose sometimes if you're passing invalid path, if there is no route is configured for that path, then what we need to do? You can check it. Here, nothing is happened, but in the console, you can check here. What the message you are able to see? No routes match for this location. Yes, no? So, but here, actually, if there is no route is configured for the given path, then we need to give one user defined message. Yes, no? We need to render some component that can give meaningful information to the user, and then user can understand for this path there is no component is configured. It means he or she is typing wrong path. But suppose here there is no message, user not able to understand, user can wait, yes, still page is loading, so that may create a confusion. So what my requirement, suppose if someone giving invalid path, if there is no route configured that given path, then we want to render one component. If there is no path is match. If there is no path is match, then which component needs to be rendered? Let's how we can configure. We want to render one component if there is no path is match. If there is no path is match, then we want to render one more component. So, okay, so for that, go to the components folder and here we create one new component. I give the component name like no match. You can give any name, whatever component you want to render when no path is match, then you can render. So here, suppose I created one component with name no match, and this no match component needs to be rendered when no path is match. When no path is match, then which component needs to be rendered? Then we need to render no match component. So let's we create one no match component. Let's constant no match, no match. Let's we define arrow function return, and now we return div element page not found. Suppose I'm simply I will create this component which provide useful information to the user if there is no path is configured, if there is no component is configured for the given path. So here we have created one component. That component needs to be rendered and which will provide appropriate information to the user if there is no path is matched. If there is no path is matched. So go to the app.js. In the app.js, we have configured all the routes. Now here we need to configure one more routes, and that routes needs to render the no match component if there is no path is matched. So then how we can configure the route? Because for this path, this component needs to render. For this path, this component is render. Apart from if user enter any other path, then we need to render no match component. So for that, we are defining one more routes. In this route, we are using one path property. In the path, we specify which path. So I give the path value as like a wildcard character, like a asterisk. So this wildcard character indicating if there is no path, yes, no. Out of this, yes, no routes, if someone typing any other path, then this route needs to render appropriate component. So this route needs to render which component? So let's here in the element property, in the element props, we specify that component. So no match component needs to be rendered if no path is matched. Okay, go to the browser and you can check here, guys. You can check it. If you type /user, you can check here which component is rendered. Page not found. No. Okay, no match component. If you refresh your page, now if you click on home, you can check it's working fine. But if suppose someone typing invalid path in the URL, /user, suppose something, whatever. So you can check here which component needs to be rendered, page not found. And now you can check here, now you are not getting an error also. There is no route configure for the given path. So while you configure the path, that time you can specify, yes, no, you can check here, which routes, this wildcard routes, yes, no, you can configure at the end. So when you configure the route, first of all, you configure all the routes, whatever, yes, no, route you want to configure based on your requirement. And out of these routes, if there is no path is matched, then which route needs to be executed? Then you can define one route with the path. In the path, we need to give wildcard character like asterisk. It means this route gets executed when no path is matched. So in this way, we can render no match route also. So I hope it's clear how we can navigate from one component to other component programmatically and how we can configure no match route. Thank you.